Look at this jar. It represents your life. And this rock? This represents your family. If I put the rock in first, it fits. But if I fill the jar with sand first, the rock will never fit. Many of you are filling your life with sand, phone, TV, worry, and you have no space left for the things that matter. Today's story will teach you how to pack your life correctly. Let's listen to The Professor's Empty Jar. Once upon a time, there was a university professor. He was very wise. His students were smart, but they were very stressed. They always complained. "Professor, we have no time. Professor, we are too busy. Professor, life is too hard." One day, the professor walked into the classroom. He did not have a book. He did not have a computer. He had a large, empty glass jar. He put it on the table. The students stopped talking. They were curious. What is he doing? The professor pulled out a bag of golf balls, or big rocks. He started to put them into the jar, one by one. He filled the jar to the top. No more balls could fit. He looked at the students. "Class," he asked, "is this jar full?" The students shouted, "Yes, it is full." The professor smiled. "Really?" The professor reached under the table. He pulled out a box of pebbles. Pebbles are small stones. He poured the pebbles into the jar. The small stones fell into the empty spaces between the big golf balls. He shook the jar. The pebbles filled all the holes. He looked at the students again. "Class," he asked, "is the jar full now?" The students laughed. "Okay, now it is definitely full. Nothing else can fit." The professor smiled again. "Are you sure?" The professor reached under the table again. He pulled out a bag of sand. He poured the sand into the jar. The tiny grains of sand went everywhere. They filled the tiny spaces between the pebbles and the golf balls. The jar was now packed solid: sand, pebbles, and rocks. "Now," said the professor, "the jar is full." The students were amazed. "It's a "No," said the professor, "it is not magic. It is life. This jar represents your life. The golf balls are the important things: your family, your health, your children, your friends. If you lost everything else but you still had these, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter: your job, your house, your car. They are nice, but they are smaller than your family. The sand is everything else, the small stuff: watching TV, scrolling on Instagram, buying new clothes, gossip." The professor looked serious. "Here is the lesson," he said. "If you put the sand into the jar first, imagine filling the jar with sand, there is no room for the pebbles, and there is definitely no room for the golf balls. If you spend all your time on the small stuff, if you spend 5 hours a day on your phone, you will have no time for your children. You will have no time for your health. You cannot put the big rocks in later. The jar is already full of sand." One student raised her hand. "Professor," she said, "what if you pour coffee into the jar?" The professor laughed. "I'm glad you asked." He took a cup of coffee and poured it into the jar. The liquid filled the tiny spaces in the sand. The jar held the coffee too. "What does that mean?" asked the student. "It means," said the professor, "that no matter how full your life is, no matter how many rocks and pebbles you have, there is always room for a cup of coffee with a friend." The students understood. They stopped complaining about no time. They realized they were filling their jars with sand. The professor gave them homework. "Go home," he said. "Take care of the golf balls first. Play with your kids, go for a run, call your mother. The sand can wait. The sand is just sand." My friends, look at your jar today. What are you putting in it? Are you worried about a comment on Facebook? That is sand. Are you angry about traffic? That is sand. Don't let the sand push out the rocks. Focus on the big things. Take care of your health, love your family, and, if you have time,